YouTube, what's going on? Motorcycle Crazy Core. Want to talk about my GoPro Hero helmet camera setup. And basically, I'm working with the GoPro Hero 4, the black, not the silver. This is the latest and greatest. I don't want to do a whole review about the GoPro 4 versus the silver, but I got this one because the silver, from what I've read, might have issues with the display because it runs hot because it's using the display. Anyway, and if you get a GoPro, regardless, you should get an additional battery because the battery lives on these is probably like an hour, 2 hours, something like that. So if you ride in long distance, you might want to keep an extra battery just in case. But anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. The topic at hand is my setup on my helmet and how I set it up. But let's rewind a second. Before I started using the GoPro, I was using this guy right here. It's a Winbook action camera. And here's the box, as you see. And the suggested retail value $89. I got it for, I think, $79 from Micro Center. It's a cool little starter camera. Like it says, full HD, 1080p, 30 frames per second, and it also shoots in HD. It takes photos, good quality photographs too. It has a downloadable program that you could use to view, and also you can record from your phone if you into that type of stuff. But anyway, comes with a little pouch, which I never use. Some straps, some brackets, the typical, setup. I'm not gonna get into all that, but basically what I was doing prior, I was using this mount that comes with the action camera, the Winbook. I was using this, strapping this to the shoulder strap of my book bag and had it mounted on my shoulder. The only problem with that, and see, it didn't really, it did catch part of my helmet in it, but it was, a couple inches away, as opposed to, those guys that actually mount it to the side of their helmet. But the only thing, when I turned my head sideways to look left, if I had it mounted on my left shoulder, it would hit, and you would hear that little, clap or whatever, sound. So that kind of sucked, but it worked. And then it was on my shoulder, so the angle was kind of tilted. But anyway, that was a good little setup for me. Anyway, so let's move right along. So, like I said, this right now I have it set up to go on my frame sliders. And so the good thing about the Winbook is that even if you turn it upside down, it'll rotate automatically. So that's a good thing. And so basically I have this on my frame sliders, and I just mount the camera whether up or down. Right now I really even haven't tried to record anything. I'm afraid that it's going to be like too shaky because it's so close to the engine. But I'll tell you about how that works out another day. But anyway, also got this because this one was on sale for like $30 at Micro Center, so I just picked this up too. This works the same as this, except this has Wi-Fi, this doesn't. But really, I end up pulling out the micro SD chips and plugging them into the computer so I could transfer files. So it's good to be able to, if I use this one, I could pull up my iPad, log into the network of this thing, because it sees this as the network, and you connect to it via Wi-Fi like you would connect to your home network. And you're able to read the files and play the files, but I don't really do that on the road. So I ended up end up coming home and plugging it into my computer. This is my office, by the way, and that's my baby right there. Well, that's the mistress. I named her Candy. If y'all don't like it, oh well. I had to take her out though, cause she was like stressing me to take her out. That's my baby though. That's the vixen. The vixen right there. She was like, when you gonna take me out? You never take me out, Poppy. And so I had to take her out. So I took her out to Coney Island. You gotta dress right. She's not like the M50. The M50 you could just do whatever, cause that's wifey. But you gotta dress up, and you gotta make sure your jacket is right on the R6. Anyway, so for my computer setup, like you care really, I think it's a 40-inch TV LCD, and it works because I don't really like small screens. And then I got the 70-inch aqueous was that a Sharp? Yeah, Sharp TV, and Go Mets. Anyway, so oh, okay, what are we doing? Oh yeah, back to the GoPro setup. And so when you get your GoPro, let me move this stuff out the way, you get these mounts, and this mount, and these brackets, and this extra bracket, but you don't need these. If you're gonna do this, this is what you will require. Okay, so let me first take this off so I can show you what I got going on. And so basically, well, the light is like not so good, but let me zoom in and that should work better. Okay, so you see I have the J hook right here. That's the typical bracket that comes with the GoPro, and the mount, and this is the curved mount. This is the only mount that you could like close to mount, because the flat mount will work on a flat surface but not on a curved surface. Now if you got like this air opening right here on the helmet, it won't work, so you need a relatively flat curved surface in order to mount the curved mount to your helmet. Anyway, so the mount wasn't perfect, so what I did was I went to Lowe's and got a roll of 3M double-sided tape for like $4, and this tape is useful. I ended up using, well, the reason I got this tape was because when I installed the turning signals on my R6, it came with like the strips, and I peeled it off and stuck them on the rear mounting, the rear footrest, but that didn't last too long and it ended up coming off. So the double-sided tape, it really secured them onto it, and I haven't had a problem with them falling off, but it's wired, so it's not going to go anywhere. It just would hang, and so I used this, fixed it right up. But anyway, it's very useful stuff. And so when it was time to mount this, when it was time to mount the mount onto the helmet, it would stick, but it would still leave a little gap on the left side and the right side, and a little bit at the top. And so what I did first was I kind of like did a dry test, and just to see how much of a strip I would need. So basically the tools you're gonna need is the double-sided tape, of course. Let me back this up a little bit. The double-sided tape, nice box cutter, doesn't matter, and maybe some scissors. And so I cut about this right here. I don't know how you see it, but it's about an inch. And so I cut about 3/8 of an inch off of this, about 2 inches long. And then if I zoom in, That's all I can zoom in. That sucks. But not this tape, but right in this crevice. Before I placed it on, I put one strip here and one strip along this side, and then once I stuck it on, I let it sit without having any pressure hang on it for about an hour before I even tried to mount anything onto it. That worked beautifully. And so now it doesn't go, you know, left to right, because if you didn't have that there, it'll just be air, and then sometimes it'll get stuck going that way, sometimes, and this just alleviates all of that. This piece of tape I put here is actually for this thing right here, which like when I was looking at helmets, what I didn't think about was getting a Bluetooth helmet so I could listen to music or talk on the phone. And so as an alternative, after I already got the helmet, I was like, I'm not gonna just buy a new helmet. Anyway, so what I did was, on Amazon they sell these headphone microphone kits for helmets, and this button actually will hang up the phone or pick up the incoming call. And so the difference is that it comes with, and if I could zoom in into the helmet, if you see this thing right here, let me turn the camera, turn the light too so you can see it. You see that's one of the earpieces. The other one I don't have right there on the other opposite end. I have it right down here, and it's a reason for that. You're also, if you have the GoPro, if you put it on the outside of your helmet, which is really no other way to have it, as I pan out, if you have this helmet, you're gonna know that you're gonna want a microphone. And so I went on Amazon again, and got, I think it was $10 for the GoPro microphone. And so the GoPro microphone, I have like wired in the lining of this thing. And so basically, here's the port for the GoPro mic. Once I plug it in, it's only the mic that runs through the inside of the helmet, and the boom is right here. But that little you know, the cushion, it fell off. I don't know where it's at. It's in one of my motorcycle jacket pockets somewhere. I can't find it. But anyway, and so the other earpiece I have down here in front of the mic, this way. No, I'm sorry. I have the other earpiece in front of the GoPro microphone. So if somebody's on the phone with me, now I know it's an easier way to do it, but you know, I gotta make it ghetto. But anyway, it works. When somebody's on the phone with me, that conversation can be recorded into the GoPro's microphone and also record the conversation, and it makes sense. So if I'm talking to somebody on the phone and they have a headset, you know, that conversation is recorded, so it's not like I'm just talking to myself. And so, and then also I got music playing in the background. I might just want to play, I don't know. Anyway, it works. And so this thing, it's not a Bluetooth. So basically, if I want to use this, I gotta plug it in to my phone. Now, the wire that comes with this is pretty long, so it'll actually work if I have this plugged into my RAM mount for my phone, or I could just plug this into my phone, put my phone in my jacket, listen to music, and you know, I'm good. So I have like two sets of wires running in my helmet. One is the microphone that goes straight to the GoPro, and then the second one is the headset with the mic and the headphones. and so I need the mic in order to talk to whoever I'm talking to. And like I said, one headphone is on the left side, the other one is in front of the GoPro mic to help record the conversation. But I haven't, fine-tuned it, so I might have to turn the volume up on my phone or get the mic a little bit closer to the headphone so it could pick up. Because on my M50 ride along video, when I was on the phone with my father, you kind of heard him if you turn the volume up. So, but I really didn't fine tune it at that point. But I see it, is very capable. Anyway, so back to the GoPro setup. But basically, if you're using this J hook, what you're gonna notice is that when you mount the casing on it, it will only go straight, like basically 90 degrees. I'm just like blocking up the whole view. It will only go 90 degrees and down, and that's it. And it was like a point where it won't tilt up, and I needed it to tilt up, and so I did something crazy. But before we get into that, I want to show you how I cut a hole into the casing of the GoPro Skeleton. And so if you look really, really close, I got really creative and innovative with this thing. And so, let me leave that there. And let me tilt it down so you can really see what's going on. And so basically I put the GoPro in. I saw about where I had to drill or cut the hole. And I went and got, I think, just a razor blade just to give myself a rough outline of where I needed to drill. And so when you do this, you're gonna need like a Dremel, or I forgot the term of that little drill. But what I did was I just got my regular drill and got the smallest bit that I could find at Lowe's. Very, very small bit. Very small bit. But it worked. And so I basically drilled in all four corners, then went around just drilling little extra holes. But the holes, I made it so that it could, let me turn my helmet around. I made it so that it could fit this plug into it. Now after I made it fit this plug, this port into it, what I realized is that even if you cut it out this size, this will stop right at the skeleton, and so this wouldn't be deep enough to go all the way into the GoPro port. So I made the hole a little bigger so it could fit this plug, just the outside of it, just right. And so if I would have left just the hole in there, what I did was also, just for reinforcements, here's where this double-sided tape comes in handy. I cut the piece of double-sided tape just enough so it could stick flush to the inside of the skeleton. And then I pre-cut this little hole, and the hole is just big enough for the metal tip of this USB port to go through. So when it does plug in, it fits relatively snug into the hole. On top of that, the double-sided tape acts like a barrier because it is stuck to every outside perimeter around the opening. So even if it rains on it, the tape is actually gonna prevent water from getting. Okay, and we're back. So basically the setup for this isn't pretty, but it works. I used the smallest bit I could find, like I said, to drill a hole. I found 4 points in here that worked. Drilled the hole, then used a nice sharp box cutter to cut out the remaining portions of it. And then I used the double-sided tape to put on the inside of the skeleton, so once I do plug in the USB port, well, the microphone, the plug fits in snug, and it also will keep out any water because it's going straight into the camera. On the other side of this is the double-sided tape, so no water will seep through, through this, as long as this plug is connected in there. And you definitely need a mic so you can talk and tell your whole experience while you're at it, like us vloggers do. Anyway, so that's the skeleton setup. But one more thing that I had to do that was annoying me. If y'all see the pictures that I posted, and I'll probably throw it right up on the screen now, my Coney Island trip. It was kind of cold that day, but besides the point, went out to Coney Island. I took the Belt Parkway out there. Anyway, it was a nice sunny day. Took pictures, but I also filmed. I really wasn't saying much, but I had the GoPro on. But the GoPro did the worst thing to me. This setup, as I back out a little bit, this setup with this mount, it won't allow you to tilt the camera back at all. And so it basically stood, 90 degrees or lower. And so when you're on a sport bike and you're leaning forward, it's kind of hard to tilt your head up so you could see, if you're filming. It's kind of hard to keep your head straight up because you're always, crouched over. And so I just needed a little bit of better angle. And so what I did was I looked at both this J hook and its assembly, and I was about to drill a hole, drill just enough to where this could tilt up, because you also have this pin going through it. So I figured if all I had to do was just gouge a nice little opening at the right angle to where I could tilt this up. But you can't drill this because the mount has the nut screwed already into it, and so you can't do anything with this part. But what you can do is gouge a portion of the skeleton out. And so if you can see, I basically did the lower left hand corner of this, and so this would have sat right in the middle. So what I did was I gouged holes on both of these 2 slots with a drill, and then used a razor blade to kind of dig a little bit more out. But you don't want to do it so close that you, I guess, compromise the structure and the safety of your camera, because if this falls, you're out of luck. And so I gouged out just enough, and so now when I put this, when I mount it this way, it actually can tilt back just a few degrees to where you're more like, the view is better. It's upright instead of being just straight 90 degrees. Like, it actually, if you can see it, it actually is tilted up a little bit. And that was free. All I just needed was a little creativity. And so my angles should be much better, because when I did play back my Coney Island trip, it was strictly tachometer and handlebars. And if anybody, whoever did a vlog knows what I'm talking about, you would agree that, you know, that's the worst thing that could happen. Is that you videotaping and you just videotaping your handlebars. You want to see the, you know, the horizon. I don't want to see just the car in front of me. I want to see everything. And so I haven't quite tested this out yet because the weather's been real bad. But hopefully that'll work out brilliantly. But so just to recap, basically I gouged out the mount. I gouged out the brackets of the GoPro Skeleton to make the angle way better. I also cut out the opening for the mic and lined it with double-sided tape.
Just to recap,
Also went and got from Amazon, I think it was $15, fine-tune
my GoPro 4 setup onto my helmet. Was first, you know, I drilled out the opening for the GoPro microphone port, wired that into my helmet. My helmet has a removable liner, so, you know, I could just unsnap it and snap it back in place after, you know, placing the wires through it. And so I wired that through my helmet, and then in front of the GoPro's microphone I have this additional helmet headphone microphone setup, and it has this little button where you could actually, I didn't realize it actually starts and stops the music from playing too. But I have that wired inside my helmet. I have the one earpiece connected on my left side. I have the other earpiece, and these are flush, by the way. These are really flat. I have the other one right in front of, I guess, my mouth, and have the microphone for the GoPro in front of the speaker, so whoever I'm on the phone with, you know, their voice can transfer through and actually be recorded into the whole video. And then last but not least, I gouged out the inside of this GoPro bracket, just so I could be able to turn the GoPro maybe another 10 degrees. And actually, once I close the skeleton, you could actually see the difference. And so I'll show you the difference. Just bear with me for a second. And so this is how far the GoPro would have gone if I didn't have any, if I didn't do anything additional. It would just hit right here and that was it. But once I drilled out the inside of this bracket, I think I gotta position it first, because it's like I really made it a tight gouge, I guess, if that's what you call it. That's the term. And so this actually, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Where are you? Where are you at? Okay. And so if you're looking straight at the bracket, this actually goes in the regular hole it was supposed to go into, and then it's also capable of going to the lower left. And it's kind of tight, so I kind of got to twist it in there, but let me position it first. And as I put this bolt through, it's spinning. It caught it. Alright, so now that's
where it's supposed to be, and as you can see, it tilts just a little bit higher, but that angle will make a world of a difference, as opposed to stopping like right here where it used to stop. It now goes all the way back, so that will help definitely if you ride sport bikes. You know, on my M50 it really didn't matter because I'm upright, but it definitely will help a tremendous deal if I'm on the R6 or any sport bike for that matter. But anyway, that's my GoPro camera helmet setup. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you, well, you know, if you got any feedback on how you set up your GoPro, or if you have another camera, I heard the Sony has a good camera, just leave the feedback below. Anyway, catch you next time.